And I will cross my fingers that everything is okay. Yes, we are indeed live. Let me just check on the page. I know this is not fun to watch, folks, but here we are. We are live. Very exciting. Welcome. It is Saturday. It is every other Saturday, which means it is time for We Need to Talk. And tonight we need to talk to the one and only, the wild man, Lucas Bretz. Lucas, I'm really glad that you decided to do this with me. You had me a little nervous there for a little bit, but thank you for coming on.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. You know, I got to keep you on your toes, keep you young, keep that heart going, you know.
Folks, you think he's kidding. I mean, it was literally like 15 minutes ago when I realized it was finally, it was actually going to happen with Lucas here tonight. So, yeah, he's a guy that likes to keep us on our toes here. The feed on YouTube says 0 watching, but we know that's not true because we've got people in the chat. So anyway, something's definitely going wrong there. But welcome, everybody. I'm super excited to be here tonight. And one of the main reasons why is because I'm kind of an outside of the box guy. I have been ever since I started my channel back in 2012. I've done things a little bit against the grain when it comes to what the rule books say, and I've never really kept that a secret, but I've got a guy on here with me tonight that takes that to an entirely new level. And Lucas, I wanted to start there because I'm an admirer of what you do. I'm an admirer of how different you're doing things. And I guess the first thing to bring up is the fact that you've got over 100 tanks. You could tell me the number, and not one filter in your fish room. So explain to me what that's all about. And I guess, I don't want this to be an interview show, but I guess if you want to introduce yourself for people that don't know, you can do that too.
All right. So the people that don't know who I am LR Bretz, aka LRB Aquatics. I do run a YouTube channel, which I document what's going on in my fish room, a lot of plenty of tanks. Like you said, pretty much no filters. I do have one filter, and that tank actually doesn't even have fish in it. But we can get to that later. That was an aquascaping tank, but
Candy just corrected
so
me.
I keep things kind of different than the commercialized, what's usually fed to people. I keep it more natural, and a big reason that I got to that was mostly from keeping stuff outdoors and just learning how my ponds and tubs reacted outside, and then dove into it more and more with the natural systems and just testing it out in the fish room, and it's really taught me a lot. But that's a pretty loaded question too. So,
well, and Candy corrected me and said you have over 400 tanks. My apologies. No,
actually, I have no idea how many tanks I have at all. No idea.
Now,
so I'm just now getting your notification for the stream, so I can finally get in the chat here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, YouTube's been slacking a little bit.
Yeah, that's weird.
They do the same thing to me with the sub count and everything. When I'll get onto mine, it'll say 0, but then there'll be tons of people in the chat. It's real weird. Yeah. You think they'd be able to count numbers by now?
Maybe Saturday is a busy night.
And zeros.
Yes. So I'm going to kind of present this as if the people that are watching don't know who you are. I mean, let's face it. People have come here tonight because they know who you are and they can't wait to hear what you have to say. But I'm going to present it as if that's not the case. And there are people that are here that are meeting you for the first time. So I'm going to ask you stuff that you've probably said a million times on your channel, but no filters. And that's awesome. But the rule everybody says is, well, there's got to be water movement. Otherwise the water is stagnant. So how do you remedy that?
Okay, so some of my tanks, I do have some water movement. Actually, this one and the one below me has some power heads in it. But that's mostly because these fish really like current. But for the most part, all my tanks, which I can actually pick you guys up. I don't know if I can flip you guys around. Oh, I can.
Looks good.
Sweet. So here you see there's no movement in these tanks. There's no airlines or anything. So I don't have to worry about it. I guess water changes give me my water movement, even though it's been probably 2 weeks since it's been changed in here. But like this tank here, it's actually got. Uh-oh. Did I get kicked off there?
Nope,
Somebody
you're good.
Trying to call me. Cool.
We're good.
But yeah, this one actually has power head on it because with the larger tanks, I mean, you don't need them, but it does kind of help with some of these fish. They do like it. But a big reason why I don't run a lot of filters is the fish actually, some fish don't, they prefer the calm of the water, so they don't have to stress themselves out trying to constantly run through it. Because even at night, fish will go off somewhere else to sleep where the current's not so strong. If that makes sense, you know?
It does.
Let me see if, try to get you guys flip back over. There we go.
All
so
right.
there's a few reasons why I do it. But for the most part, once again, I got a 240 over here. Right now it's grain water. It's got discus in it, pandagars, tons of stuff. I can pick you guys up and take you up there. Why not? For those who haven't seen this kind of stuff, I mean, a lot of you guys like fish, right?
I would think a few people in here do.
Yeah, I would hope so. We've got pandagars in here. Big reason why this is green right now, though, is my aquanite went down on me. So most of these lights and planing tanks are run with aquanites. But the 240 went down on me, so I got stuck having to use my big T5 light just to keep the plants going. It always triggers green water in here because I've got a dirted substrate. It's real organic. I actually came from my backyard.
Nice.
So I like to keep things natural. There's catfish in there, rainbow fish, barbs. We actually found some baby Blekos in there the other day, which was a cool find because without the grain water, there's no way those baby Blekos would have made it with those discus. And decent-sized Congo tetras, too.
I think that, you know, I mean, if I'm just being blunt with you, there's probably going to be a lot of people that are going to see that, and they're going to go, my God, why is he okay with having the tank all green like that? I personally love it. I think it's awesome because it's like, hey, look, the water's green. It's got an algae bloom in there, but look how cool it looks. It makes the discus stand out for sure, and I think it's ballsy. I like it. I mean, because so many people would go to great lengths to get rid of that, but you're just like, hey, here it is. It is what it is. I like that.
Well, a lot of it's because I have so many tanks, hundreds. Like, I have no idea how many, but hundreds. And since, I mean, you see a lot, like pretty much all these are clear, like that one's not. Some are just problematic from organics that have broken down in them throughout time, which is a big trigger of that. As well as highlights, because that's actually got the T5s on it as well. But just getting to it and maintaining certain things and time and whatnot, it becomes a lot to deal with. So, I mean, I do my water changes. It doesn't take but a day or two for it to go back to green.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you just said, Lucas, because Lisa just called me during my live stream. She only lives in the same house as I do. Sorry.
Did it kick you off?
No, we're good.
No, okay. I was just talking about why it was green and and how I have a lot to mess with. So having a green tank like this, I mean, I do kind of enjoy it too because it is real natural. For some breeders, green water is great for growing up stuff. And there's a lot of benefits to green water.
Folks, here, listen to this.
Oh man,
let me do this real quick. So what's going on?
Nothing. I just wanted to talk about a couple videos.
Okay. Can you all see who this is? There's no picture, but
oh, Bobby boy.
So this is the ultimate troll job, and I'm actually very proud of Bob. Now the reason why he's doing this is because he saw Lisa called, and I answered.
Wait,
and
are you live streaming?
Yeah.
Gonna miss an opportunity.
No, go ahead. What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about Donald Trump
sorry,
or?
I didn't know you were live streaming. I'll turn it on.
Jerk.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's just being rude to you, Lucas. I don't even know what to say, man. I'm embarrassed.
That doesn't bother me none.
No, that's fun. But back to the green tank thing. I love it. I mean, as a YouTuber, and you're definitely hardcore YouTuber too. Most YouTubers would like completely avoid that tank in their videos. Like, oh, it's green. Everybody's going to criticize me and laugh at me. And the fact that you're just like, hey, here it is. I love that. I mean, I think that's awesome. Not all tanks can be perfect 24/7. So
right. It's part of the hobby. Like most of the display tanks and the aquarium tanks and aquascape tanks that they see in these magazines that are like perfect and just absolutely beautiful. Like those tanks are usually just set up for that shot. And
that's
not
right.
really grown out over time.
Right.
Now it's becoming more of a common thing that there are a few really good aquascapers who do practice keeping it over time, but it's not an easy feat. It takes a ton of trimming, ton of maintenance, ton of time.
It is. I mean, it's a full-time job if that's what you're going to be doing is taking care of those tanks. If you don't mind, if I can get my cat's head out of the way, I need to catch up real quick on some super chats because they've been coming through. Everybody's excited you being on here.
Sweet.
Stephen Crono, I think is his name. I hope I'm saying it right. He's got a question for you, but I'm going to ask you to answer it after I get through these. And that is, what does LRB feed his fish? But don't answer that just yet. Ginger Graves with the $10 says, woohoo, Saturday night with KG and LRB. Judy CB just says hello with the $2. Rack, I'm going to be honest with you. Rack's super chat for $10. He says, I won the lottery, but I lost my ticket. So here's the story behind that. I didn't hear anything back from you, and I was getting nervous. You, Lucas. And so I messaged Rack, and I was going to ask him, hey, can you be on reserve in case Lucas bails on me? But he didn't answer me till like 10 minutes before the stream, so I trolled him. I messaged him back. I said, well, I had a winning lottery ticket. I was going to give it to you, but you waited too long to answer me. That's why he said that. King and Queen cichlids.
I mean, we set a time and everything, so I hit you up before, or you didn't hit me up before, so I was here when I needed to be here.
You're very punctual. I appreciate it.
Johnny on the spot.
There you go. King and Queens came in with two different super chats. One that says, love the green water in the tank, love it, and that was for $10. And then the other one, I missed it. Let's see. There's that one. This is so hard. I've got my chat up on two different screens. The other one says, as soon as I can get to it, wow, Lucas is a popular guy. I can't even get to the bottom. Here it is. I have John's phone number. Anyone want it? Yeah. I'm surprised Scott didn't call me. Lucas has my number now too, but he can't exactly troll me on a stream that he's currently on. That would be weird.
That's a job for Steamfont.
Yeah, leave
Our
it
old
to Bob.
Steamboat. That's what we used to call him, old Steamboat. Everybody used to get his name wrong and call him Steamboat and stuff.
I like to call him Steenfort because I saw a video of a guy at a event, a live event, and he said, "Oh, there's Bob Steenfort over there." So I like to call him Steenfort. Lucky 13 super chat, $10. Does Seachem Prime break down Easy Green if dosed at the same time, or should I wait 48 hours? Also, is it better to dose Easy Green when the lights are on, off, or doesn't matter? Thanks, guys. You are 1,000 times more of an expert on plants than I am, Lucas, so I'm going to let you answer that one.
Well, I'm actually not a fan of Seachem Prime myself. I actually used to use this stuff called Blekko Geek when I did use dechlor. It's kind of old school. I can't remember what the scientific name is for what actually takes the chlorine and chloramine out, what you can buy in bulk for cheap. But as far as it reacting with Easy Green, I have no idea. I'm not Corey from Aquarium Co-op, so I couldn't give you that information. But I do know when you are feeding your plants, you do want to feed them in the morning, preferably like an hour before the lights come on or right as the lights come on, because that's when they start uptaking the most, is when the lights first start kicking on.
Well, and I'm just going to add to that. I am also not Corey from Aquarium Co-op. He will be a guest on this here stream in a month, February 15th. He's going to be on with me, which is my oldest's birthday. He's going to be 25 that day, but he'll be able to answer it then. But I'm going to go ahead and say I don't think so. I don't think it has an impact on Easy Green. It's not like it's
I wouldn't think.
carbon, but yeah, I don't think it is, but we'll definitely save that for Corey for sure. And there is another thing. FNS says, I thrive under pressure. I do. I like the pressure. The more chaos, the better. As long as there's no echo and as long as my screen isn't freezing, I'm good. I got to mention here that there is a sense of pride and a sense of relief whenever I hear you talk about a plecostomus and you refer to them as Blekko. I think you and I have talked about this in person because Lisa gets her balls broken all the time about saying Blekko. And to hear you say Blekko is, oh yeah, she does.
I didn't know that was a thing for people to get hung up on.
You don't get that on your videos? You don't get people?
Not at all.
Oh, man.
I guess your audience has more free time than mine.
I guess so. It's a big thing. I mean, we did an episode of our 10 Things series on Plekkos, and I say Blekko, she says Blekko. She's always said it that way. And man, I think I got a comment today on that video. People railing her for saying Blekko. It's like, come on.
Just for not saying the full name?
No, for saying Blekko instead of Blekko.
Oh, Blekko. Okay. Blekko.
I mean, you know.
I got a lazy tongue too because I used to live in the South for a while.
Now, the labyrinth fish that is in the gourami family that people tend to put in small tanks and they sell them in cups at the pet store. How do you pronounce the name of that fish?
Oh, the betta.
You say betta? Okay. See, we're beta.
I used to say betta, though. I used to get hell for it. From Gary Lake, out of all people.
Because
he's like, I bet ya. I bet ya. I bet ya. I was like, betta?
So
good time.
He criticizes you for saying betta?
He did. Yeah.
But isn't that the right way to say it? Betta?
Betta. Yeah. Betta.
Oh, so you say it like with a D.
No, betta. I guess it depends on how fast you say it too, is on how the ear picks it up as well.
I mean, I say beta, and Lisa and I both say beta, and people just murder us for that.
Yeah, it kills some people. It hurts them on the inside just a little.
Oh, I know. I mean, we get comments that, this was a great video until I heard you say beta, and then I had to leave. It's like, I'm sorry, but I've tried to reprogram my brain, and I just can't make it happen.
There'll be times where I'll be doing live streams and I'll be looking at a tetra, but I'm thinking rasboras, so I'll call the tetra rasbora, and it just happens. Like, humans aren't perfect.
Yep, we
fall in our ways sometimes.
Another one that I get killed for is the show River Monsters. I talked about that in one of my videos, and I don't know what my problem was that day. This was a scripted video. I had it written down. I had Jeremy Wade written down on the paper, but for some reason I announced the name of the host of that show to be Zeb Hogan, which I forget the name of his show, but it's like his show's called like Monster Fish or something. I don't know what it's called. So on that video, I talked about the show River Monsters with the host Zeb Hogan, and oh my God, you have no idea how many people have commented negatively on that. Oh, it's not Zeb Hogan, it's Jeremy Wade. Anyway, I could go all day long. Yeah. Robert Egan comes in and says, good show. One of my tanks is 160 gallons. I have 20 young adult cichlids and 4 Pictus catfish. Do you think I need more catfish for bottom cleaning? My answer to that's going to be no. But Lucas is more of a natural cleaning guy. What do you say on that?
I would say that's really up to him, what he sees in his tank, what's going on in his tank. Are you seeing excess food? Do you feel like you need more bottom feeders? If you do, then maybe, yeah. If not, then no.
125 gallons or 160 gallons is a pretty big tank. I mean, I don't think it's going to hurt you.
A lot of fish in, yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to hurt you to put more in there, but I would feel with 20 fish, I don't know. I feel like they would probably do a good job, but you're exactly right. I actually love that answer. Look at your tank and you determine if you need more fish in there or not. Now let's go back to the food question. What is your food of choice?
So a lot of people ask me this, and it's the tetracolor tropical granules. It's pretty much what I feed my whole fish room. It is what I feed my whole fish room. Even my babies I raise up off of them.
Do people give you crap for that because it's tetra?
No.
Good.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe they have. Maybe I don't care, so I don't really focus on that. So.
I mean, if you.
But for the most part, like people who watch my channel and stuff, it's kind of like an ongoing joke of like, what do you feed your fish? And,
okay. I mean, I'm one of those people that believes the best food for your fish is the food your fish will eat. So.
Right, and that's the thing. These fish, they just hit that stuff hard. Corey actually did aquarium co-op did a tour of a big fish facility, breeding facility, and that was all they actually used too.
Really? Oh yeah. The one in Israel, the guppy. Yeah. Yeah, I do have my favorites, but I can't say right now because we're talking to a company right now about a business proposition. So stay tuned for that. But regardless of what any YouTuber's favorite food is, the best food is the food that your fish will eat. Melissa Jeswald says, Wikipedia says beta. Now, here's the thing, Melissa. My thing with saying the word wrong, I acknowledge that I'm saying the word wrong. I'm not trying to argue with anybody that beta is the right way to pronounce it. I realize that I'm saying it wrong, but I just can't reprogram my brain to say it a different way. But let's see. We got no one gives Lucas crap. Well, that's good. Maybe you're just a more intimidating guy than I am. People are afraid. How could they be afraid of you? You're the most laid back guy in the world. You look like Jesus.
I think that's why, because I'm laid back. Because I guess it rolls off me. It doesn't affect me. A lot of people who are usually trying to troll, they want that reaction. So if they don't get it, sometimes I love trolls. I love to convert trolls. They're actually kind of fun.
See, that's exactly the same way I look at it. And then I get the people will comment or they'll say in the chat, oh, John, don't let the negative comments bother you. You do your thing. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. It does not bother me at all. I'm just talking like I'm making fun of these people. I'm having fun with these people. It doesn't make me lose sleep. Trust me. It's fun to have a go at these people, as my friends in Britain would say. I use
I do want to touch on that food question more too.
Oh, please do.
Because this is something a lot of people don't think about. Like in my tank that's behind me, this barb tank, I've also got some soft tissued plants in there. So they do get the protein from the tetracolor tropical granules, but they're also eating their greens naturally from the scape. So that's something to think about when you're keeping planet aquariums and fish too.
Very nice.
So often, especially with filterless tanks, you'll get the microscopic detritus worms, cyclops, daphnia. You can even get infusoria, all kinds of natural live foods from doing that too.
Nice.
So not only do they eat the tetragranules, they're eating natural items as well. Like some of my tanks are actually seeded with blackworms as well.
Oh, nice.
So like if you're keeping a garden, worms are great for gardens. So if you put those in an aquarium, they can do the same thing, turn over substrate, and then also act as a food source for your fish too.
What about snails? I mean, I know snails aren't the
totally
food source,
pro
but
snail.
Are you?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mostly only have pond snails and ram's horns. I don't really have much for MTS anymore for some reason. The Malaysian trumpet snail, which those things can get crazy. So all these tanks are pretty matured, so the booms and blooms of snails don't happen here. Most people get freaked out about snails, usually because they see that. But if they just go past that, a lot of them will kind of naturally die off just from food or whatever. And then that's a good sign if you're overfeeding, too, is if you're getting a ton of snails. So they can be a kind of like a canary in a coal mine.
Right. So you're creating a fish room that is just completely self-sufficient, no filters. All of the food for the fish just grows in the tank naturally. You're not even going to have to touch the tanks. You just look at them.
You do got to supplement them. They do need their protein, for
I know,
sure.
I know.
Sure.
I'm just making a joke here. But
yeah,
and you have somebody that's an employee of yours that's in there doing water changes all the time too. right?
Yeah, managing all this, it's become a lot, especially just getting water changes done because they're not on central systems, and I do still manually siphon. I do have a system that adds the water directly to it, which is really sweet to have. But I do have an employee. She's actually been cutting down on hours because she works for another job. So we've been trading off on time and stuff like that. It's mostly management. Like most of my time anymore is just maintenance management, and I'm trying to grow out of that. So I'm kind of going through that phase right now. And I want to get more into production management to where I'm actually producing more. And I've got tons of ideas for that, kind of innovative too.
Production of
People
fish
aren't
or
really
production of
production
content?
of breeding a lot of these fish that I keep, because a lot of the fish I keep you can't find elsewhere. And there's pretty much no one out there offering them. And for conservation reasons, I would just love to be able to produce. It's kind of a sin for me to be keeping these kind of fish and not breeding them properly and getting them out.
KGTropicals, has Lucas ever videoed like 5 hang on the back filter reviews on the same day? Oh, no, that's just me. I'm the only crazy one that has done that. John and LRB, smooth criminals, except John, not so smooth. Hey, that's true. Very true.
Now, I got to ask you about that thumbnail. Like, what made you decide to pick the whole prisoner theme?
I have no idea.
You just thought it was good.
I mean, Jason was my first guest, and we're both bald guys with beards. And I was just like, we're going to look like a couple of inmates or something. And so it just occurred to me like, okay, I'll make us look like inmates. And then it just stuck. I just liked it. So I'm like, all right, from now on, I'm going to have everybody do that. Even Corey and even Candy Overhauls. They're going to have to do the mugshot. I think it's a fun thing. I don't know.
You're going to have Candy on?
Yeah, she's coming on in 2 weeks.
Oh, sweet.
Yep, I've got the exclusive on that. So I'm definitely excited about that. And it's going to be fun. I mean, with a wide open kind of format like this, who knows what we're going to get into. It's going to be a good time. So I'm definitely...
I'd like to see you do one of those thumbnails in a beanie, though, if you really want to get that look going.
And I'll put a teardrop on. That'd be perfect.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I got to make sure my cat doesn't push buttons on this laptop. Are you crazy? All right. It is really hard for me to keep up with the chat here because it's really small. And I think I'm way, way, way far behind here. Let me see. People are commenting. I love the mug shots. I love the name Candy Overhauls. All right. There we go. So, yeah, I think it... And see, that's going to make it perfect to have a mugshot of Candy Overhauls. I mean, that's going to be perfect. She's the woman everybody loves, and there's going to be a mugshot of her. It's going to be awesome.
She's awesome. She does so much for this community.
She definitely does.
Unsung hero behind the scenes.
None of us deserve her, that's for sure. Who else is watching the killifish in the fishocracy tank behind Lucas? Okay.
Oh, nice, nice.
That's a perfect segue into this. What is this whole fishocracy thing? What is that?
The whole fishocracy, this tank is really wild. It's the one that I actually sit in front of most of the day. And it has quite a combo of fish in it. It's got hill trouts in it, these dock and sea similis barbs, and these 2 killifish, as well as some cherry barbs and some other pleccos. And yeah, it's just the dynamics constantly changing there. So it's kind of been like this soap opera dramatic series. There's actually been fish that died. This actually started from 2 of my Melanitania goldii decai alpha males. Actually, before then, there was 1 hill trout that died, which was random. I'm like, okay, that just could be just random death. Maybe he had liver cancer. Who knows? But then the next day, there's 2 dead alpha males of my rainbows. I'm like, there's no signs of like worms or anything else pointing towards like a disease. So I'm just like scratching my head, like, what's going on here? And then started watching the behavior of this tank and what was going on. Started noticing the other rainbows were getting beat up. Like, I don't know if it's because of the time of the season with the hill trouts getting into breed mode, and which is kind of weird because these killifish actually run the tank. So it's like this Golden Wonder used to actually run it, and then this blue killifish took over it. And they used to have like teams, but now it seems like the blue one took over, like gained everybody, like all the barbs and everything, and the trouts. But now the killies kind of buddied up too. So I don't know. Things keep changing in this tank. It's been really wild to watch, and it's been very interesting, to say the least. So
That's cool. Everybody's asking who is going to mod when Candy's on my stream. That's a good question, but I've got plenty of mods that do a great job. Candy is always the best, and nobody debates that. But I've got quite a few mods that they'll be able to hold the fort while Candy's busy on the stream. If I see Candy pop up in that chat in the stream that she is on, I'm going to be very mad. It's the first stream that she's going to be able to take off, and she's going to spend time in there working.
That should be interesting. Just see how she reacts during that moment.
She's going to want to do something.
Oh,
she's going to see something,
and be like all in the inside.
That's right. Trish KCMO with the $5 super chat. Child with Trek coming soon. Coming. Wait a minute. Gnats in guest room tanks. One is 3-day fry from Gummy Train diseased fish.
Ooh.
Panicure C, or do I risk moving fry to fish room?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you apparently understand that question, so you go ahead and answer that.
So as far as the gnats, hard telling what those could be. I don't know if that would really be the death of your guppies from Gummy Train. It's hard to see without like a picture of the body. Is it has any white fungus on it? Is anything coming out of its organs and stuff like that? If you think are sea worms in there, then maybe Pancure C would work. I would go ahead and do the Pancure C. Definitely don't move the fry to the fish room, because then it can just start a huge fire battle that you're probably not going to want to do, because that could get expensive real fast. And guppies, they're pretty strong. The Pancure C, it's not going to hurt them, so you can go ahead and try that. I'd also recommend a Ruby Reef Rally and Kick It combo. It's good for like those unexplainable like kind of worms or whatever that you may come across as well, because Pancure C doesn't kill them all, but they are both safe treatments for sure.
This is what's beautiful about this hobby. I've been keeping fish almost as long as you've been alive, Lucas. I don't know how old you are, but probably been keeping fish close to as long as you've been alive. And I've never heard of Gummy Train. Never heard of that. I mean, people can question my knowledge all day long. I mean, how dare I not ever hear of something like that? But that's the first time I've ever heard of that. Should I be embarrassed by that?
A Gummy Train, I think it's a Gummy Train diseased fish. Yeah, I think it's from where they sourced it. I think Corey did a video on them one time. I can't remember exactly who it is. But who knows?
I just want to share that. O'Doyle rules.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Let me see. Got to go. Really enjoyed the stream. See you later. Thank you so much for coming by. This is very difficult here, the way I'm doing this, but it's the hardest part when you're trying. I'm sure you go through this yourself, because you get a lot of people in yours. It's like people are talking to each other. Yeah. And there's nothing I hate more than people just sitting there reading the chat, and it's like, come on, dude, start saying something. Gummy Train sounds like Guppy's breeding out of control. Yeah, I mean, that's, if I heard Gummy Train, that's what I would be thinking. It's like, okay, that just sounds weird. That's fun. So tell us about your website, what you do, and all that kind of stuff. What is lrbaquatics.com?
So that's where I share some of the stuff that I breed out and grow out to everybody, and it helps keep the fish room going. I'm not that great of a salesman, more of a hobbyist than a businessman. Like if I wanted to make money, I would be doing real estate and creating cash flow and stuff. I want to be nickel and diamond in the guppy game.
Yeah, I hear you.
But I do have a website that helps promote this fish group and what I do and help enhance it to do more. Because I'm not a big wants kind of guy either. As long as I get to do my fish thing. And the big reason why I got to this was to think about what I would do if I was retired. I had my kid, and I didn't want to have to put him in daycare and end up paying tons of money for that, not being able to see him. And I just had to come up with something that I would be able to stay at home, be able to do, that I would enjoy doing. So I thought about what I would do if I was actually retired and got to run with it. And this is what
You're way too young to be thinking about
happened.
what you do when you're going to retire.
Oh, I don't think you're ever young enough.
No, that's true. That's what a smart person would do anyway. Now the YouTube channel, my introduction to you was through Facebook, because I used to be very active on Facebook. I know you have your problems with Facebook, as do I, but I can remember talking in the Tank Talk Facebook group about shrimp. Like, should I get shrimp? Should I get into that? And I kept getting messages from this Lucas guy saying, I'll send you shrimp. I'll send you shrimp. And I'm like, I don't even know who this guy is. Why does he want to send me shrimp? I don't even know. And then here you pop up on YouTube. But didn't you start your YouTube channel because Facebook got nasty with you or something?
Well, they banned me. They didn't get nasty with me. They just didn't understand what I was doing, because I was in so many groups answering so many questions because I had so much going on. They thought I was a spam bot.
Okay.
So they wouldn't even let me comment back. There'd be tons of people asking questions. I'm not able to get to them and answer their questions. I used to spend so much time on Facebook. That's why I don't get on it. I don't have like hatred towards Facebook or the people on Facebook. It's just I don't really have the time to deal with Facebook. You can easily spend hours and hours and hours on there, and in social media alone. That where you're not even doing what you actually love, which is the fish. You're just doing all the social media stuff, which Facebook banned me once. It was 24 hours, something like that. I was like, okay. And then I did it again, and there's nobody to talk to. There's no customer service to be like, hey, I'm a real person trying to help people out. They banned me for 2 weeks. I'm like, well, I'm not even going to do this. I can't even do this. It's hard to even keep up with anyways.
Right.
So it started making sense that if I just make a video, I can just visually show people what's going on instead of having to post to a bunch of groups and all that stuff, and just started making a channel. So a lot of my Facebook people started coming from there. And then I just started spending more time with YouTube and pretty much phased out Facebook, which I still do have some posts that go onto my Facebook, but it's all from Instagram, which I've been slacking on that too, just because, I don't know. I like to detox away from the computer, phone as much as I can.
Completely agree. Facebook, I'm one of those people that believes Facebook is the devil. I mean, I don't like it. It could be good, but unfortunately there are so many people that ruin it. And so it's not that I don't like the website or I don't like Mark Zuckerberg or, it's a beautiful website, the way it's laid out and all that. But it's just, I get mad when I go on there. People make me mad. It's the Facebook drama.
Yes,
and all
I
this.
didn't really mind like the people. There's some really great people on those groups. And
Oh,
I've
sure.
got to meet some really great people. Now, there will be some turds in the punch bowl every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes those can even be fun because you can kind of be like, oh, put them in like a perspective, not really put them down or anything, but try to give that new perspective that actually may help change them, even as not just in the hobby, just personally on how they outlook life and everything too.
I tried that.
Depends on how you look at it. But you can't be everybody's savior. There's also an old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
That's true.
So.
And it's that exact scenario that actually drove me off of Facebook. Was a scenario where you're having a conversation, you're asked a question, you answer the question. And this was not about fish keeping. It was about YouTube. You're asked a question. So you give your opinion on that question. and they just light you up. And it's like, what? Wait a minute. I did not say what you're saying. I said, go back and look at the message, but it just blows up into this whole big thing. And it's like, all right, that's it. I'm done. I can't handle this. You say one thing and then they type out that you've said something completely different. I'm like, I don't have time to deal with these children. I'm out of here. I got enough kids at home.
Right.
So, and
Right.
I mean, I've seen people's lives ruined by Facebook by exactly what you were talking about. Just, it's so easy to pick up your phone because you're sitting on the toilet or whatever, and you find something to look at on Facebook, and then obviously you wouldn't spend hours on the toilet unless you're some kind of weirdo, but you end up falling into that rabbit hole of being on Facebook for 3 hours straight. And I've seen that happen to way too many people, and it's just a total nightmare. So Trish KCMO added another $5 and said, not sick moms, dead. Don't want to risk babies or my grandchild, of course. GT Trio, $90. I guess that's adding to the Gummy Train thing. Is there any follow-up you wanted to add to that, or what?
I mean, I don't really see it being gnats as a problem. Like, I kind of find that hard to see, because I actually live next to a reservoir, and we get some kind of mayflies and gnats and stuff like that come around and in here. And I mean, the fish just use it as a food source. So the reason of its death is really hard telling. Was it its age? Could have been genetic? I'm not a big fan of just chucking in meds and just going full barred with it, because then you'll end up killing bacteria, the good beneficial bacteria, and causing crashes and stuff like that. If it makes you feel safer, maybe put half of them in one container and then keep the other half in your QT. So now you got 2 QTs. Another excuse for another tank if you need one.
Never a bad thing.
And maybe do the meds on one, see if it was just something that could have been natural. There's a lot of variables to that, but those are some things to think about.
I got to figure out a different setup here, because I'm constantly staring down, and it must be hard to watch because you're looking at the camera like a professional, and I'm constantly staring down. Oddball Aquatics comes in.
Now. But you got to read the chat.
Yeah, it's kind of rude though. Like, I wish the computer could be up here. That way it would make me look more at you. But anyway, first world problems I've got going on over here.
Well, you build furniture, right? You used to build furniture.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could craft something up.
I got all my tools stolen though. So,
yeah. Sorry to hear that, bro.
That's it's almost like the death of a child, which I've never experienced.
Yeah.
It's $45,000 worth of tools stolen from me. So yeah. Moving on. Oddball Aquatics says retail season ends, bro. My hours will go back up. So you can expect your employee to be there a little more often here after the busy season after Christmas.
Have to get the payroll up.
King and Queen Cichlid says, John, you are old enough to consider retirement. LOL, here is $5 for the retirement fund. Oh yeah, I'm definitely old enough to talk about retirement, but Lucas is like 24. How old are you?
You're funny. Oh my God.
How old are you?
No, not quite.
You're not over 30. How old are you?
I think I'm 37.
You think you're 37.
I try not to think about time that much. It's kind of like time to me is like taking a glob of paint and smearing it across the wall. It just kind of all blends together, you know.
Oh, you're Dr.
When you
Manhattan
live day
now.
by day and kind of through goals.
Very cool. That's why you're so laid back. You just don't have anything to worry about. You just don't.
Well, it's all about perspective on how you think of things. You know, there's like a bazillion universes just within our own world. Literally like 9 million. Everybody's got their own universe, you know, going on in their head, their own shifts and whatnots. And
what door have we just opened
it's all about
here?
Perspectives. It's all about perspectives, you know. And like your feelings getting hurt, you know, only you can really hurt your own feelings. They're your feelings, you know.
Make the choice to allow your feelings to be hurt or not.
Right.
And if you allow a little avatar on a computer to hurt your feelings, then you're doing something wrong. I mean, I just got done talking about how I left a Facebook group. That wasn't because my feelings were hurt. That was because I don't have any tolerance for nonsense.
Right.
But
you only got so much time. Life is short too, so you gotta live it and love it.
Well, and the issue that I had with the Facebook group, it was people asking my advice and my opinion and stuff like that about YouTube stuff, and I was like, why am I doing this? Like, if I'm just going to get railed for it, why? Forget it. I'm gone. And on the topic of YouTube, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about something that is not unique to you. There are a lot of people out here, but I've talked about it before because anytime I go deep into YouTube conversation, which I love to do, and oh, by the way I was able to convince Corey to come on the live stream with me, this live stream, was that I promised we were just going to talk about YouTube the entire time and not anything personal. Corey doesn't like talking about anything that doesn't have to do with business. So yeah. I told him we're going to talk about...
That's what he lives for. I mean, that's his thing.
You going to say hi? This is the one that called earlier.
Hey.
Hello.
You weren't,
hey, Lucas.
You weren't following along. Bob called right after you did because he's
really?
a jerk.
I called to see if you wanted McDonald's.
Oh, well, the answer was yes, of course. Look at me.
I didn't get McDonald's because you...
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Away she goes.
The good thing is the McDonald's is only about a mile from our house. But Kaler's Aquatics is driving home from Atlanta with a truck full of fish. And he wanted to pay me money to be able to tell us that. Isn't that an amazing thing? But
Kaler's he's awesome.
Oh, he is. He needs to be up in that area of like a Candy Overhaul's level because
I agree.
He's universally loved by everyone. But on the topic of YouTube, when people ask, the question comes up all the time. Do you have to have fancy cameras? Do you have to have fancy microphones and fancy software and all that kind of stuff? I have used many times, and I always forget her name. I forget her name. It doesn't matter. There's a girl on YouTube that has like 1.5 million subscribers. She got those 1.5 million subscribers in like 2 months, and she did it with 3 videos. All of them were made on her phone. But even though she's a super success story, you are another one that pretty much does everything from your phone. If you are someone that is trying to build a YouTube channel, definitely when you want to ask that question, look no farther than Lucas. The guy's about to hit a huge milestone of 40,000 subscribers, and he's doing it all with his phone. So, and
yeah.
Do you do all of your editing and stuff on there too, or are you just like a raw guy?
No, editing I actually do on the computer, but it's off like the basic free one. I actually have the the X Pro or whatever, the Pro Cut.
Final
I
Cut
don't
Pro?
even use that. I still use the iMovie, just because it's easier. I actually missed my old free one from the Windows system, but I do use the phone for pretty much most of my videos. I do have some other cameras for like underwater shots, or I've also got this movie camera that I can get from long distance. That's what I've been shooting the fish accuracy off of, because if I were to go up to the tank and try to get the shot, they wouldn't be doing their natural behaviors for everyone. So that camera's actually been allowing me to do that. But as far as like building up the channel and actually starting off, is all off the phone. And the cameras that they have on phones now, I mean, it is really remarkable. Not only that, is the intelligence that comes into these sensors that are able to like change the contrast. You can do all those movements without changing lenses and like getting down into your main menu to change on like a Nikon or something. You can do it all at the touch while you're actually on the fly, which is kind of nice. You can't do it live, but when you are actually doing like fish room tours and stuff like that, it's real nice to do. And now they have gadgets where you can hook up mic systems and gimbals for phones and all that stuff, which makes things more smooth. Production value can get you a long way too, but substance definitely makes a big difference in just building community.
The way I advise people, make some money first and then use that money to upgrade your setup. Don't go full in expecting the world. Right. I mean, you can if you have the money to do that, I've had people say to me, but Corey bought all that stuff. I'm like, yeah, but he had his channel for 4 years and had 200,000 subscribers. I mean, the guy was
built up.
right. He's making money from it and he puts that money back into the business. Mine's the same way. And look no further than this stream. I'm talking on a $400 microphone with a $100 studio arm. I've got studio lights on me right now, a $150 webcam, and a $2,800 computer that I'm streaming all of this off of. Lucas is sitting there. His picture's just as good as mine. The sound is just as good as mine, and he's doing it from his phone.
Yeah, I don't even have a mic extension or anything.
Nothing more needs to be said. I mean, you can start
technology
this thing
they
off.
have phones now. We're good.
Absolutely. I mean, you can go very, very far without spending any money, and you don't need to look any farther than Lucas to know that for sure. Uh-oh, my stream just turned red. I hope that doesn't affect anything.
Yeah, see, we got talking about the quality of everything, and then YouTube's like, nope.
That's funny.
Well, we'll change that up. We'll throw them a curveball.
That is a conspiracy for sure. Well, since that's happening, I will shout out Melissa Jeswald here. She gave $5 towards tools. I hope they were insured. My tools were not insured, which is why I cry a little every time I think about that, because that's just basically a total loss, and there's nothing I can do about it, and it really does hurt my feelings every time I think about it. But, what are you going to do? Just don't let me catch the guy in public, because I will probably become an animal. But let me see. Hopefully, I want to get to the current one. Doesn't seem like everybody is complaining about the feed, so we'll just keep on going here. All that expensive equipment, and it's lagging. Yeah, Bob, of course, is the one that...
right.
That's an internet thing. I mean, we've got the expensive internet, too.
I would like to talk about, you see a lot of channels, for instance, Schwisky, Jimmy of Schwisky, his channel, his editing and everything, it's like so on point, so awesome, wows you every time. But the growth rate of the channel still is only about around to mine is.
Right.
So it's really weird on how, a lot of it is just what the algorithms will pick up. And if you could really manipulate the title tag and all that thumbnail, then you can really hit it. But I don't know. I don't have the time to spend on focusing all that stuff. I'd rather just come out with stuff my audience would like, my community would like. But that's kind of crazy that Lady 3 videos.
Yeah, her name is Juliana. Daggone it, I keep remembering.
What was the substance of the content?
She is a minimalist. She lives in a van. And so she does like lifestyle videos that are living in a van. And she's a very attractive. Really she's a very attractive young woman with a super bubbly personality. She's awesome, and she's really good at making videos. And it was just the perfect storm. She made good videos. The videos are well done. And yeah, they absolutely blew up. She's the lottery ticket winner when it comes to YouTube. And that's a good thing, but I think it's also a bad thing, because that enables people to set their expectations to be able to do the same thing. And that's just so rare that somebody hits like that.
Yeah. But there will be some people who get inspired off of that.
Sure.
They may be able to get out of the rat race, just from that inspiration. So, I mean,
I could not
sounds
agree
like
more.
a good thing, especially for something like that, when it becomes like minimalism, and because we get so caught up in the whole commercialization of buying stuff, it's insanity. That's why I do a lot of what I do and don't have all that within my tanks. It's back to Mother Nature.
Right. I'm not talking about her channel as if it's a bad thing. I definitely agree. It is a good thing. But, I mean, I've had kids in my house say, we ought to be able to start a channel and get a couple million subscribers in the first year. Yeah, right. I'm like, really?
Right.
So yeah, that's the only thing. That's the only negative about it, is that when you see that, you automatically think, well, I could do that too. And maybe you could, but most can't, just like most can't get drafted number 1 into the NFL. You know, I mean, it takes a superb talent and a little bit of luck to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Even somebody like a Paul Cafaro, who's very good at making videos, that he is a 1 in a million kind of a guy where, you know, he starts a channel and he blows up. It doesn't work that way for everybody. Most of us are going to grind and we're going to work at it and, you know, always be trying to get better and progress. And it takes a long time. So, Aquariums maintained by Andy with the $2 says, thanks for the tips. Lucas is the only one giving tips tonight. I ain't giving nothing. Let's see here. Eric Furlow. Hey, guys, glad to be here with you. Thank you for coming by. That's another big supporter of the channel. I see him in here all the time. Chelsea Riley, LRB, what's your favorite superhero? Woo! Chelsea knows my kind of conversation.
Oh, my. I'd have to go with old Superman. People used to be all about that Batman, Superman versus whatever. I mean, the guy can stop a speeding bullet and as fast as a speeding train, can hop over buildings, he flies. I say in actuality of abilities, he should be able to take everybody else out. But he does have that one weakness, which kind of screws him.
Everybody that's watching this right now that knows me is about to roll their eyes and go, oh, God, here we go. But knowing a little bit about your politics, we don't talk about politics on here, but knowing you a little bit, I would figure you as more of a Watchmen guy. Have you read the Alan Moore?
I would say that I'm not that educated on Watchmen.
Okay. You should check it out.
Gambit. He was the X-Men. I don't get into the whole superhero series much. As a kid, yeah, but like these days, not so much anymore. I don't get into a whole lot of mainstream medias and what do I want to say, paraphernalia.
Well, that's
propaganda's papers.
That's good. There it is, Janelle Eliana. That's the girl's name. Candy put the link in the chat there for that girl with the van. She might have 5 or 6 videos out now. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, there you go. So thank you, Candy, for doing that. Waterbox.
Like all the Avenger movies and stuff like that, I'm like way behind. I haven't even seen them. Don't they come out with like a new one every year?
I mean, yeah, sure. Depending on what you're watching. See, I'm the exact opposite of you. I'm all over it, and go to the theaters on opening night and all that kind of stuff to see those. But you know, you got to have an escape, and the superhero thing is a big one for me. But I can't argue with you with Superman, though. I mean, he's the elite of the elite. So, super chat from Waterbox is also reminding me, Janelle Eliana. It's one of those things I can always think of her name when I'm not on the spot, but I seem to always forget her whenever I'm in conversation. But it's not a disrespect thing. I like her channel. It's just I seen Paul Cafaro nearly kill his koi with a net, so I unsubbed. Okay. Who watches Watchmen? That was from Waterbox. You got your answer there. Superman can turn back time by turning the planet backwards. Who can top that? Dr. Manhattan. Dr. Manhattan can turn that. Can top that. But anyway, we don't want to go too far down.
Know who he is.
Dr. Manhattan is really the only superhero in the Watchmen series. He's the only character with superhuman abilities. Everybody else is just like Batman. They're just people that can do extraordinary things. So, John, I'm probably late to the game here, but we just got Disney Plus. It has all the greats Marvel owned by Disney and Star Wars to boot. Yeah. So my thing with Disney Plus, and Lucas is like, come on, why are we talking about this? But I haven't gotten Disney Plus yet because I'm supposed to get it for free, but we can't get it to work for free. So I'm just going to pay for it. It's like $7. I'll end up getting it. I'm probably going to do it tomorrow. Sundays are my only day off. And I usually end up working on Sundays anyway, YouTube stuff, but I think I'm going to take tomorrow off and I'll probably watch that new Star Wars series. Let's see here. Let's find something else to talk about here. Dr. Manhattan can see all of time in one moment. Yep. See, there you go. Doctor Strange can top that. Uh, Doctor Strange, even though they're different companies, they can't. He wouldn't be able to touch Dr. Manhattan. Sorry. Lucas is like, look, dude, I did not come on here for this crap. Terminator can take out Superman. That's funny.
I thought that was funny. That's what I was just laughing at.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, Superman is what introduced me to superheroes back in the day. So, the Christopher Reeves movies. So I do have a...
like Dick Tracy or something.
What was that? You
That's
broke
what
up.
I should have said Dick Tracy or something.
Okay. I mean, you are an outside of the box guy, so that would have made sense.
Right, there you go. If you want outside the box.
That's extremely accurate. Now that I think of it, Rockford, Holy Coalition, Batman. Okay, wow. Well, if you can't get by doing your thing and only trying to get views, you should not do it. Well, if you can't get by doing your thing and only trying to get views, you should not do it. Okay, I see where he's going there. The goal with YouTube, whether you're Lucas Bretz or you're KGTropicals or you're Paul Cafaro, the goal is to get as many eyeballs on your content as possible. So I don't think that anyone trying to get views is a bad thing. Even if you look at somebody like Lucas who's trying to spread the word of how he does things and share his fish room, he's going to inspire people to do things differently, and he'd like for as many people as possible to see that. So whether there's money attached to it or not, it's not a bad thing to try to get views. Now, when you start doing things that are manipulative and are dishonest and unethical, then it's a problem. And there's certainly been some of that. I think
that's what he was referring to, was the motivation behind the want of the views.
Yeah, and that I completely agree. There's been other streams talking about YouTubers doing some rough things. And so, yeah, I completely agree there. There's a difference between wanting to reach as many people as possible and doing unethical things to achieve those views. I mean, that is a different thing. So, anyway, koi should never be caught with a net unless they're babies. What was he thinking? Okay, everybody's talking about Paul Cafaro, I guess. I've watched like 3 of his videos, and they're entertaining. I mean, it's not really my thing because he's like chasing around pigs and turkeys, and that's not my thing. But
there's a certain vlog kind of style that really like hits a certain like age range and stuff. Like when he does that quick reaction stuff, that like, "What's up, everybody?" Blah blah blah, bam. Like certain productions like that will bring you a certain amount of subs alone if you just have that kind of production that like, bam, energetic in your face. That's not me, so that's not how I roll. So to each their own.
I mean, I don't roll that way either because I'm just not capable of it. You and I are both kind of laid back people, but yeah, I mean, and I think that what people are talking about now is using animals, whether they're fish or farm animals, to get views, even if it's something that's bad for the animals. And who could dispute that? I mean, that's
it's animal abuse. It's animal abuse.
And that is definitely a huge problem. Maybe that's a problem in the fish tube community too, but I think that's more of a pet tuber doing with the reptiles and the critters and all of that kind of stuff. I think that's a bigger problem there. But I don't know. Maybe it's a problem in the fish tube community too.
And some of those people, like, they run their channels as a business to where they are thinking just about the views, not so much of the consequences of the substance that they put out. And it's.
But my opinion on it though is there are channels, I'm gonna say like you, because it's absolutely true. Like myself, I always try to go education first, and sure, I try to do that in an entertaining way, and I'm trying to get more and more creative as we go. But the goal is to have there be something gained from the video, and your videos are very educational. Corey's videos, I don't think there's anybody doing it better in the fish tube community. I've been saying that for years, where it is it's educational while also being beautiful at the same time. And it's those channels like mine and yours, and I could give you a long list of a bunch of others that are going to be around 5 years from now. And the ones that are like going after it right now, only doing what's popular, only chasing the views, and not being genuine in what they're doing, they're the ones that are going to come and go and come and go. But the channels that are really trying to make a difference, like you, Lucas, are the ones that are going to be around for the long haul, which will result in those channels also making the most money. And I think people need to stop considering that to be a bad thing. I don't think that making money on YouTube is a taboo thing. Lucas, you may disagree. I don't know, but
But I mean, just sometimes that negative, that's what I was meaning to get to earlier, is that negative publicity will drive those views to them because
sure.
they are doing those sorts of things and stuff.
Well, and again, like with me, I did a video about one of my arowanas dying, and it just so happened to be the same week Joey did a video about an arowana dying. And it was like, I think Rachel had fish die that week. It was like we all did it at the same time. It was not a collaboration for sure. But
yeah, it's not a good one.
But there's people that commented on that video like, oh, you're just trying to make money off of your fish's death. And I'm like, no, wait a minute. Did you watch the video? Because in that video, I'm trying to make everybody understand the mistake that I made that led that fish to its death. It's my fault. I made a mistake. If you watch this video, my hope is that you will learn from that and you will not make that same mistake that I did. If I make money on that video, I don't think that that's a bad thing. I didn't kill my fish.
And it allows you to raise awareness for certain issues that may arise.
Absolutely.
And show that people all go through this, all learn the mistake together. Hey, if you help save some fish in the meantime or help change that perspective to it does change a fish's life down the road, then I would say you're winning. And if you get paid to keep doing and help teaching other people, then that's a win-win.
When you are creating scenarios that you should know better than and doing that for the purposes of getting views and that results in the fish's death, then it's the exact opposite. And
yeah, that's not cool.
Yeah, we're definitely both in agreement there. But yeah, you know what? I mean, it's you can't please everybody, even if you are trying to do the right thing. And there's going to be people that don't like that too. So it just is what it is, unfortunately. And it looks like my internet is just having a fit tonight. And I apologize for that, Lucas, because you're spending your time on here, and it's definitely.
Did we get into Lego, Lucas? Are we getting pixelated?
I don't think.
Let's maybe the audience, people in the chat, how's the video quality? Mine's kind of blocky on my computer, not on my phone, but
yeah, the Skype signal is perfectly fine, but the what I'm seeing on my feed from YouTube, it definitely does look a little blurry. So adopt the Joe Rogan policy on never reading comments. Yeah, you see, I could definitely do that. And I think I would be better at this live streaming thing if I didn't read the comments, but that would fail in this, in our world.
I like the community part of it. If you can't get into the chat and the community, and that's my favorite part about doing live streams. And I couldn't, like, it would be so hard not to look at the chat and just like keep talking.
Well, see, I could do better by not reading the chat. And I've actually, that's what I do on my normal Tank Talk streams on Thursdays. I have a whole segment where I shut all that down. I don't look at it. Me and Lisa have a conversation about whatever. And then we open it back up again and we look at the chat. But what Joe Rogan is doing and what we are doing, I love Joe Rogan, by the way, but it's a completely different thing because he's not there to nurture a community. He's there to put on a show. So
Yeah.
it's absolutely no
More
different than
business oriented.
right. And it's no different than a show on television. I mean,
Right.
that's not what we're doing.
Right.
And that's not what most YouTubers are doing that are streaming. We're here
Right.
for the community.
It's kind of, let's talk about YouTube and that right now, with like how a lot of it's just starting to go to the wayside of mainstream media, because a lot of Hollywood and these main channels, they're dying. People are watching more YouTube, more online, more streams and stuff. And this is what YouTube was made for, was more of a community interaction opposed to business and show. But now it seems like things are trying to trade off there, which is kind of a slippery slope for YouTube here in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I struggle with that because I do understand the business side of it, and I can't begrudge YouTube from doing whatever they want to do because it is their deal.
Right.
But yeah, that's hard. I like to be an optimist, and I like to think that the corporatizing of YouTube will actually work better for us. And I could certainly be wrong, but I feel like the more people that are on this website, whether they start off watching, Last Week Tonight or Jimmy Fallon, they might still get to us in their session. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I mean, that's a good perspective, really, because it can drive some of the mainstream people over into the more niche kind of groups and activities and whatnot that YouTube can send you down, the little rabbit holes they like to
that's exactly right.
recommend you.
I've had so many people, and I'm sure you've had this too. I've had people come up to me at live events. It's only ever happened live, which is weird, but I've had people come up to me at an event and say, do you know I wasn't even into fish at all? And I happened upon your videos on YouTube. I don't even know why your videos were suggested to me, but they were. And I watched them and I liked it. And I have 6 tanks now,
Oh, dude, that's so awesome.
So that's,
Yeah, I love hearing stories like that. That's the best.
oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I've had
Because
that multiple times.
bringing something to their lives and everything, because it's a very zen and peaceful hobby. It can be frustrating at times, but it brings us all to nature and stuff. So just that, I love those kind of stories.
I do too.
That's awesome.
And that just kind of solidifies what I was saying before about, they can be starting a YouTube session with something completely unrelated to what we do, but yet end up on our channel anyway. And so
Right.
To me, I feel like the more people on the platform, the better for all of us, the better for the hobby, the better for the community, the better for everything. And so I don't look at the big corporate channels as necessarily being a bad thing. And I know I'm going to get flack for that because that's like, oh, John's answering to the man. No, I'm not. I just understand there's nothing I can do about it. And if it actually does end up being something that works out better for all of us, then I'm not going to fight it.
Right. There'll always be alternatives for other people who choose otherwise, But yeah, I mean, I like that perspective. You've got a point to it, because, I mean, that's just tends to be the nature of humans and the way it kind of flows.
I have probably a similar schedule to you, but my work is outside of the home. I'm fixing furniture. And a lot of times I don't get home from work till 6:30, 7:30. And then I've got to do admin work. And I've gone quite literally weeks without turning the television on. Because, and all of the content that I get is on YouTube. Now, baseball season, I know you're not a pro sports guy. Baseball season, that's different for me. The game is going to be on, and the volume will be off, but the game will be on every single night. It's my joy is baseball. But I don't watch TV anymore. I mean, at all. I watch everything is either on YouTube or it's on one of those streaming services. So, and the thing is, I think a lot of these corporate companies know that there's a lot of people that are that way. And the only way anybody's going to see Jimmy Fallon or Stephen Colbert is if they see it on YouTube. So I don't know. I don't think there's anything we can do about it. So we might as well embrace it.
Right.
So let's see here. The broadcast channels are dying and YouTube wants to become the new broadcast channel platform. I hope we will still have a place here in the future. I really do think that it's not going to make us go away. I mean, I think that whether you're a channel that has 5 subscribers or 5 million, I think you're always going to have a place. So Barbara Jackson, I don't think there's a threat. I think we're all right.
That's why, especially with our community is the best. We'll always have our community and these awesome people, you know, that come watch and our videos. Like I got a lot of regulars on my channel.
You got a lot of who? Regulars,
like
yeah.
People that have been watching my channel for a long time.
Yeah, me too.
Just awesome seeing them in the streams all the time and just like, you know, they become your fish friends.
Okay, let's see here. Let me find another one. I just ordered 3 albino Oscars fry, and they showed up with fin rot and beginning of hole in the head. Good Lord, and they're only fry? That is unfortunate. Man, that's a bummer. I don't have a TV hooked up anymore. Turned it into a computer monitor instead. Very, very smart. No help. My battery is dying. Okay. That's the one that, I mean, now see, my approach is going to be different than Lucas's because he doesn't like meds, like he said earlier, but I'd be going straight for the general cure.
I use them if I need to. I use them if I need to. Like fin rot, I prefer to use like the fungus cure that API has.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was saying general cure for the hole in the head too.
Yeah.
So
but I don't know if you can put those together or not.
Well,
but yeah, it sounds like a rough start.
General cure wouldn't help the fin rot too, though? Wouldn't it?
Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
I mean, if you only had to have one, if you could only take one, I don't know. I'd probably address the fin rot first because the hole in the head is so common.
Right.
That
the fin rot's going to eat away at the fins and get to the body. Then you're going to have a problem.
Right. So there you go. I agree with you there. Go with fungus cure first. The whole reason YouTube is awesome is because the mainstream TV is nothing but garbage. You could not pay me to watch regular TV because I can choose to watch. It's not a bad point. I mean, there's the news channels are unwatchable. I don't care if it's a left-leaning one or a right-leaning one. I don't care. They're unwatchable. The sports channels are unwatchable. There's only one television show that I actually enjoy, and that's The Walking Dead. So, yeah, I don't disagree with Dan Lusky there. I mean, it's all trash. I don't think there's any series that I watch right now other than The Walking Dead and Watchmen, but that's on HBO, so it might as well be online.
Been loving watching this cichlid tank behind you.
Oh yeah,
there's a lot of color in there.
You're talking about this one here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to figure out the lights on there though. I want to get the lighting on there to be similar to this, because that tank looks cloudy right now, but it's not. It's actually crystal clear. But I want more blue in that tank, and I can't get the blue turned up on there the way I'd like it to be. But yeah, thank you for the compliment. All of those fish came from one place.
Where?
No, I just lied to you. 4 of them came from one place, and all the others came from another. The overwhelming majority of fish in there came from Live Fish Direct. They're out of Utah, and then the other 4 came from the Fish Hut in New Jersey.
Okay.
They were. You probably don't know the story behind that. Jay Wilson, who I'm sure you know, he messaged me one day and he said, "What's your address?" I said, "Why?" He said, "Just give me your address, damn it." So
it sounds like him.
I gave him my address, and a few days later, 4 fish showed up from the Fish Hut. I'm like, okay, pays to be friends with Jay Wilson. He organized the Fish Hut to send me fish. What a guy he is.
Well, you got some sweet fish back there.
Yeah, I'm really happy with him. My favorite guy is actually up here. You can't see him right now. He's coming. Here he comes. Let's see. There he is. That's my favorite fish in the whole tank right there. It's a rostratus. He is an amazing fish. The blue dolphin, which is also right there, is another good looker. Yeah, but you're not an African cichlid guy, though, right? I mean,
I just don't really have the space for them. I mean, they're nice, and everybody around me, like in Indiana, since we have really hard water, that's what everybody kept. So they're like a dime a dozen too. And I always got into like the oddballs in the fish store. I was the guy that would go into the fish store looking for the one fish that stands out from everything else. That's what I was usually attracted to. Like the ones you don't usually see.
Right. The outside the box guy.
But I do still like them. Like my favorite one in that tank that you have back there is the one that has like the kind of spotted pattern, kind of like a giraffe or like pattern.
Now, see, that is a fish that many people are drawn to. He's right there.
Yeah.
He's actually a hybrid, and there is, I don't know what your thoughts are on hybridizing fish, but they are a peacock cichlid that is probably the most popular hybridized African cichlid. And, you have people that are absolutely 100% against any form of hybridizing fish. And that's fine. I can still call those people my friends, but they are striking. OB cichlids are absolutely striking. That guy right there, Live Fish Direct handpicked him for me. He was a breeder, and they said that particular fish probably produced about $100,000 worth of fry.
Wow, that's insane.
So
that is insane.
He paid his dues, and they went ahead and retired him and sent him to me.
I need a fish like that.
Well, they have a huge operation, and they're breeding hundreds of thousands of fish all the time. So, let's see. Let me scroll through here, see if we can find another one. Agreed on TV today. I only watch motorcycle races. YouTube and Netflix have replaced what TV I used to. Yeah, I mean, if you can't find something on YouTube, then you're probably disturbed somehow, because it is there's always something. Even if you're not a fish person, you can find something out there. As they went from 100,000 subs back down to 4,000 and having to start all over again. Huh?
Wow.
That would suck. And I'll tell you this, if something happened to my channel and I went all the way down to 4,000 subs, not that there's anything to be ashamed of to be at 4,000 subs, but when you've been at almost 140 and you go down to 4, I think I would probably call it quits, because I mean, it's time to give up. You must have done something so bad that you're not going to go back up there anyway.
Right. Yeah, it's true. For that to happen, that would have to be pretty brutal. It would have to do something pretty bad.
Some type of national controversy. I mean, but see, that's the weird thing. Like, it would have to be like they murdered someone live on YouTube or something. Because
right, even then they'd probably get more, Right,
controversy just builds channels. So
right,
it's like
right.
I've had people ask me, you don't seem like a guy that ever really deals with any kind of drama, but people have asked me, like, do you get mad when you see other channels talk about you and stuff? I'm like, no, I encourage it. Please do. Even if you want to say bad things, because all that's going to do is work out better for me. So anybody can say whatever they want to say, whenever they want to do it. The cat has still not left me alone.
At least you can kind of see the cat that time. I don't think I've actually seen that cat. I always hear about the cat.
Oh yeah, he's a hoot. This one. They're talking about Big Al's, but Big Al's didn't go down to 4,000 subscribers, did they?
Big Al's?
I thought they were a pretty big channel.
Really? What? Yeah, that's what I thought too. I thought they were going gangbusters.
Yeah, I mean, I know they had an issue with a storm.
That's 106K.
Yeah, what is that all about? I don't know what that means.
I don't.
But anyway, what is your what are you wanting your YouTube channel to do for you? What is your goal with the channel?
Really, it's just mostly been to share what's going on in here because I'm kind of doing things differently. I do manage a lot of tanks. Like, there are people who manage tanks for a long time, but not quite at this scale with so many in a natural way. That I just more or less start journaling and want to share with people and educate people what goes on and like just help people out in the hobby. Like, as far as like, I would love for it to get big. I mean, who doesn't like money? You could always use some extra money. But as far as like the want out of it, there's, I don't know, just to reach more people and help them out, I guess.
I love that you added that because I feel like so many people are afraid to admit that, you know, hey, yeah, if I made some money at it, that'd be cool too. You know, there's so many people that still believe that to be like a taboo thing. And the reality is everybody makes money on YouTube. So there's no reason to look at it as a bad thing. Again, as long as nobody is being
yeah, I would
unethical.
not be able to function this fish room without YouTube. I'll tell you that much. Because, I mean, pretty much what I make from this helps keep this operating and functioning and stuff like that. So, I mean, without it, like, I mean, it's a job. It's still a job or business, but at the same time, it's a hobby. So it's, I guess it's balanced, you could say.
Right. Do you aspire to get out of that fish room and go into something bigger? I mean, that's at your house, right?
I do wish I could have something bigger. And I wish I could separate the business and my home life. Not to the fact that I'd have to go drive somewhere else and do it, but I wish I just had like a barn instead of it all in my house to where I could just like fully do the systems, which this is kind of like, in essence, what I consider my practice fish room.
Okay.
Because it was built mostly off of collectoritis. I was not building it thinking I was going to end up with this many tanks, and it just kind of snowballed. And I used to work construction too, so the building part was always something I enjoyed.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, I definitely want to do some bigger things. Now, when that'll happen, it's hard telling because it's big goals. Like I'm talking about, I'd have to move to a whole new property, find the right property. You're talking about saving up hundreds of thousands of dollars to do it right.
Yeah, it's a lot more expensive than people
I
think.
am not at that great at YouTube. Like, they're not paying me that much.
But you know what? I disagree with you because I'm not kissing your ass here. I mean, I'm being honest with you. There's a lot of people that put on a show, and I could probably even be put into that category. You're biting my computer now. Are you serious? I've had this computer a week. You are what YouTube was made for. You know, you're a genuine guy. You're going out there. You're not putting on a show. You're not acting like a character or anything like that. And like I said, it's channels like yours that are going to be around for a very long time. So,
I hope so. I hope so.
You will.
And I think you just got to keep them going too, because if you ain't now, people will forget. YouTube will forget you too. You do got to kind of keep going with it just to be in, like, in the public's eye.
Having been somebody that did take a break from YouTube, I can definitely attest to that. I mean, my channel still grew, but I often wonder what would have happened had I not taken that break. Lisa and I were talking today.
That's right. Yours grew quite a bit when you took your break. Mine died. I took a break this summer and it just like died.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I had been building my channel for like 5 years before I took that break too. And I had created a lot of evergreen content that, you know, so that's why it happened. But yeah, my channel grew by about 20,000 subscribers over a year and a half, which that was one of the things that brought me back. I was like, wow, you know, I've been gone for a year and a half and there's still people wanting to see what I'm doing. I got to go back. And
you're making an impact. Yeah.
I'm trying.
Well, I'm glad you came back, brother.
I'm happy. I'm happy with it. I'm having more fun with it now than I ever did before because I'm not chasing money. I mean, do I Do I return the checks to Google? No. I appreciate that money very much, but I'm not, the goal isn't money. I'm not looking to get rich. And I think that that's made my content better. And I think that that's made the channel grow faster. And Lisa and I were just talking about today, our oldest is getting ready to move out. They have a contract on a house, and they're moving out, which is going to free up our entire basement, which is like 1,600 square feet, somewhere 16 to 1,800 square feet. And we were talking about things that we're going to do down there. And the only reason we're able to have those conversations is because we're able to do it because of the money that's made from YouTube. So it's like everything goes in a big circle, and it's a beautiful thing.
Right.
That's
and you remain happy doing it, and that's what's important.
If you're not happy doing it, then you need to just stop. I mean, unless you're making $1 million at it, then you got to grit your teeth and bear it.
Right.
But,
and that was a big reason why I took a break this summer, was like I felt like I was grinding so much, grinding so hard, just like keeping everything going, that like I just had to let go, just to like find it again, find the fun in it, which I believe everybody goes through resets like that.
The YouTube grind is way more of a job than people think it is.
Right.
And, you can look at it and say, well, it's just making videos. No big deal. But no, it's a lot. It is a big deal, and it's difficult to do. You hit the creative walls, and it's tough. And then you've got 750 aquariums to maintain. I mean, that's, and a business to run, and a young child and all of this. I mean, it's a lot. And so, yeah, there. So they said, we're talking about Thomas and Brian from Big Al's. They got fired.
Oh.
So, okay. So it's not like the channel lost 100,000. Two guys left that company and then started their own thing. That's a completely different story. That's
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's different than losing 100,000 subscribers, though.
Right.
I believe this. So they moved. They didn't do anything really, just a corporate decision, I believe. Okay. Oh, well, that's fine. Well, now we got to the bottom of that. Rena, we don't need your input. Thank you. YouTube grind is as much work, if not more, than the hobby part. It's very true. The beautiful thing about YouTube for me is that it is very much a hobby, and I love that. I love that part of it. I enjoy the creative process. I enjoy being able to do things that other people haven't done and stuff like that, and that definitely keeps me going. Today I went and... Will you stop? I went today and walked in a trail through the woods and filmed myself and talked about monster fish.
Yeah, I saw that about the Oscars.
Well, no, that was last week. I recorded one today at a different place, talking about. Everybody talks about monster fish because of their size. They talk about monster fish they get so big. What they don't talk about is how powerful these fish are. And so the video is about the power of monster fish. And I just went I went in the woods, and I was walking down a trail through the woods, filming myself. People might hate it. I don't know, but it was fun for me to do that kind of thing. So
you got to try different things like that too,
Well, and that's
how they interact, and
that's what keeps me interested.
When I first got onto YouTube, it was really kind of fun for me personally as like a social experience and experiment, just because, it was new. It's a whole new community. I've always been like the kind of guy that'll be quiet until you like get to know me, because I'm usually observant. But it was really interesting to like see how you do get different reactions off of different formats, and just how you display things differently and stuff like that. I find that very intriguing and interesting on this side of YouTube as a creator too. I don't know if you get into that, but
yeah, I mean, I know this isn't what you were talking about, but it's hard to find friends. Like the community side of things, I'm totally with you. And if there wasn't for YouTube, I wouldn't have any community interaction. So that side of it, absolutely. And I'm sorry if I'm going off on something completely different from what you were talking about the cat. I could barely even hear what you were saying, but it's tricky. There's a few YouTubers that I actually call genuine friends. Like these are people that have been to my home and stuff like that, which is awesome. And so I kind of feel like I have a lot of friends when it comes to YouTube. So that's the social side of it for sure is big time for me, because if I didn't have it, I would have no social life, because I don't leave the house except if I have to go to work. So,
right. And I know a lot of people have this same problem with like their friends. They've got lots of friends, but they're not also fish keepers either. So that's, birds of a feather flock together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
it's good to have YouTube be able to do that. It's kind of like a fish club.
Right. I have one friend that keeps fish. One. That is like not on YouTube. So you're absolutely right. The only way I'm going to find actual friends that keep fish is through here. And with them being a YouTuber at the same time, that just makes it that much better. So, and I'm still getting notifications for poor water quality. There is a comment, this must be from a 12-year-old because it's been put up like 18 times. John, what would be a good tank mate for a beta I have in a 5-gallon tank? I'm pretty sure I saw that comment 18 or 19 times. If you're not a 12-year-old, I was just being silly. Don't be mad at me. My answer is going to be none, because a 5-gallon is a micro tank, and just keep your beta in there by himself. It'll be fine. But Lucas, you might have a completely, let's see, I'm counted 5 now. I'm going to keep going. 6. This was put up a bunch of times, but what is your opinion on a tank mate on a 5-gallon tank with a beta?
I'd probably just stick with the beta. Yeah. I mean, you could get away with some other things, but I wouldn't say that you should get away with those things.
I mean, you can disagree with me and we can still be friends. It can be okay.
Oh, no, I know, but I'm agreeing that space should just be for the beta.
I agree completely.
Because if you stick like a Coolie Loach or some kind of Cory doors, like Pygmy Cory or something like that in there, it's not quite a big space for them, and they might get harassed by the beta. So it's just like you could get away with it, and maybe the beta has a good personality. You get lucky, because not all of them have the same personalities. You would just be safer and better off just keeping them by himself.
I have an interesting question for you that popped into my head just now. And this is something I've been wanting to ask a shrimp person for a long time. And I'm friends with Chris Lukop and Rob and you, but I've never asked this question to anybody. Why are shrimp so popular? Freshwater shrimp. Why are they so popular?
I think it's because we've often been keeping just fish and plants. Like plants got real popular. It's just an extra ornament to the tank or addition to the system of the ecosystem. So it's an extra variable that people can like experiment with, and I think that's why they're popular. It's just something extra, People like extra, I guess.
Don't take my question to mean like I think they're stupid and I don't understand why people like them. I love shrimp. I think they're awesome. But I've just wondered that, like, what is it? Because they're so tiny and you can barely see them, and you can have 1,000 of them in a tank and you might not even hardly see them. It's
Right.
just made me wonder, like, why are they so popular? I mean, I love them.
See, I think it kind of goes along the lines of why I like nano fish too. Like some people like to look into tanks, and like the more you look into them, the more you see something different. Opposed to like you can see that fish from across the room, you know what's in that tank, that's what's in it. And instead of like I used to have this 180-gallon bow front, like huge Anubias. It had tons of types of fish in it. Tetras, Resboras. It had special rocks. I'm also a rock hound, so everywhere you look, there's like 10 things to look at. It's kind of like one of those hidden mystery posters where you can look in. If you look at it long enough, you keep finding the hidden stuff. Like I always like that, and I like to do that with tanks too. That's the big reason what really got me in the shrimp and to adding them when I first started adding them. That was back when there was just cherry shrimp. Your only options were the red cherries and the crystals. the black and red crystals.
See, and I like those
Then-
because they're the easiest ones.
Which the cherries.
Yeah. And they're pretty.
Yeah.
They're red. I mean, you got to love a pretty one.
And now they come in so many different colors that you
Oh,
can
yeah.
really do some cool things with them too. So if you get into like breeding, kind of like some people who like guppy breeding and inler breeding, like back in the day, they used to tell you not to mix them. Well, now we know better. You can mix them, and you can actually create some really cool stuff from them.
Mm-hmm.
Which I've created up to like tricolored neocaridinias where they had black, red, and blue.
Nice.
Like blue and purple. I just personally can't take the time and effort to like formulate these lines down the road. So I try to share that with everybody because then that brings cooler stuff for other people in the hobby, and
Absolutely.
they're really fun to keep and breed. And
I try to watch Aquarium Co-op, but I can't. I just don't like watching him, not to be mean, but that's my opinion. Hey, you know what? We all, I saw Aquarium Co-op. If I knew that was negative about Corey, I probably wouldn't have read it. But you know what? It doesn't really even matter because it's not like that would bother Corey. Hey, we all have different tastes, and it's okay. I personally like to watch Corey, and Corey's my friend, so don't talk bad about my friends. Steamfod Aquatic says,
Yeah,
John's cheap equipment is lagging
Corey's
again.
my friend too. Corey actually helped me a lot with getting my channel up and going too when I first started getting on YouTube. So big shout out to Corey.
Corey
He's a good guy.
He's known across YouTube as being somebody that is very generous and very generous with his time to help other people. But ladies and gentlemen, let me break some news to you. That man has helped way more people than you know, including me.
Yes.
As recent as 2 days ago, Corey did something massive for me that he didn't need to do. And it's an amazing thing. So, but having said that, I know that his style is a little blunt and he's a little straight edged, and some people don't like that, and that's fine. But he's a good dude. Whether you like his style on videos or not, he's a good guy, and I love every second that I get to spend with that man, as weird as that just sounded. So I think we're going to probably start to wrap this up, Lucas, because I've already had you for 2 hours, and the internet here is just doing bad
2 hours
things.
already?
Almost. And I think that the problem is I've got 2 people in this house that are gaming right now, and I forgot to tell them to get off, and that's probably why this has been happening. So I'm going to have to...
You have to hop off here and shake a fist at him.
That's right. I'm going to have to go stomp on the floor. They're going to hear me coming, but I forgot to tell them. What are you going to do? Shrimp are amazingly entertaining, and they eat algae. Yeah, they are. And again, I wasn't saying I didn't like shrimp. I absolutely love shrimp. But it is amazing when you consider the teeny tiny ones. But I did want to ask you this before we wrap it up. Do you keep any cichlids at all, like Darios or anything? Or do you have any little
I
cichlids?
have some shellies.
Okay.
And I got discus.
I knew you had discus because I saw you walking out with them at the
Yeah.
aquatic experience.
I've had apistogrammas. I've had some laticaras. Those were really cool to breed out. I've had geophagus. So I have kept some cichlids.
Gotcha.
I haven't got into like the big Africans. Some of the smaller like ones, like the Bricardis and some of those are very tempting. But right now I'm kind of limited with tank space, and inlers and guppies keep catching my eyes, like different ones of those, and then I'm trying to transform things. So
Isn't it funny that a guy
my
that has...
collectoritis really...
What's that?
My collectoritis really kind of controls a lot of what I do here. And then on top of having to be a business, like I have to keep stock of things. It'd be a lot different. Like this fish room would probably be a lot different if I didn't have to think about business and like keeping it going. If I could just keep exactly like everything for show, it'd be completely different.
A guy with 400 tanks just said, "I don't have the tank space for cichlids."
It's true, bro. If I could have 400 more and maintain them, I would. Like, I don't think you'll ever get to enough tank space. It just usually becomes a maintenance thing.
With
I don't know. For me, that's my problem.
with our basement fish room build that we're going to be starting probably around the first of the year, we are basically like quadrupling the amount of space that we have. So, of course,
That's fun.
we're going to have to add more
Dude, that's
tanks.
awesome.
But the way we're
Right.
going to do it
I think
is it's going to be very strict. Lisa's going to have her section and I'm going to have mine because she's very messy and very unorganized. And I like to be very tidy and organized. So her tanks are going to be over there. Mine are going to be over here. And I think I'm probably going to stick with bigger tanks, even though I love the nano tanks. I'm probably going to stick with bigger ones. So, and really my side's only going to have 3 tanks on it when we first started out, but I'll be growing it for sure. I don't think the tanks will be quite as big as this one, but
Dynamic for you too. That'll be interesting to see.
it's going to be a lot of fun.
And just the whole planning and the excitement of being able to plan a whole fish room and like, what are you going to put in it? Like, what am I going to do with this space? And just having space for things. I think that's like one of the funnest things too, as well as keeping them.
It's exciting and it's fun to just talk about now. There's a little bit of guilt in it because it's almost like we're looking forward to our oldest and our grandchild leaving, but that's not it at all. But it's, we can't stop him from going. So if he's going to go, he's moving literally a mile down the street. So he's still going to be here quite a bit. But hey, we're not going to stop him from going. So we might as well talk about what we're going to do when he's gone. And but I think it's a process that's probably going to take a long, long time to get it completely done. And I don't even know how we're going to get these tanks down there. We got to figure that part out. But
Yeah.
I'm definitely excited about it. And I might even start a saltwater tank. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah. Go salty, huh?
I would
thought about it.
do a
Shrimp.
fish only tank. Because I love corals. I think they're awesome, but I'm just not interested in what it takes to keep one and the expense associated with keeping one. So I'm probably not going to mess with corals, but fish only, absolutely. I might do that. Let me get a couple of super chats here.
Okay, no problem.
Hung Chow came in and says, Hung Chow loves shrimp tacos. I don't like shrimp. I don't like eating shrimp.